Okay, let's go through your psych tests now and analyze where you can improve. First picture, uh, my God, like terrible handwriting here. This must have been one of the reasons why the psychologist would have checked your paper
I
away.
admitted this in my Gandhinagar interview, sir, when my ma'am asked me that, do you read this? I told her, ma'am, I myself feel bad for my psychologist who's going to check it, but I
Uh,
have tried to improve it as much as I can. So, yeah.
After the improvement, this is your output.
Yeah, strangely, but yeah, I
Hey,
don't think anyone
was
would like
handwriting
to
a
see my
problem for
mistake.
you from your childhood, or because of only typing and coding and not writing for a long time, it has become like this?
Partially both, I would say. Like my handwriting was never super good since childhood, but since I'm even more less into writing now, maybe that also is a part of it.
Yeah, but at least you know that you are going for SSBs and handwriting is very important. You should have some
Mhm.
practice, na? Are you doing that?
I have tried to make it at least readable now. So yeah,
It is
that's
not.
the
That
thing.
I'm telling you, na. It is mostly illegible only. Like I'm struggling to read it, so I would request you only to read your stories while I assess them. 1 second, I'll just open up the question paper also. Okay. Yeah. First, read your first story, please.
Okay, sir.
Do you
So
have?
Captain Ajit,
Uh,
yes, sir.
please continue.
So Captain Ajit was tasked by his CEO to carry out the next expedition to Mount Everest. So he carefully selected his team and ensured a daily 12-kilometer run to build stamina. Then he showed them how to use different mountaineering tools, and for practical experience, he conducted some practice climbs. They also underwent regular training practice for mountain climbing at Indian Institute of Mountaineering. Finally, a month later, they successfully completed expedition and brought glory to battalion.
Okay, fairly good story. Relevant to the picture, overall actionable, and you have included all the elements required. Okay, nice. Good overall, but there is nothing called Indian Institute of Mountaineering. You have assumed it. Uh, there's no such institute actually. If you write a realistic one, it would have been better. Like there is NMI, Nehru Mountaineering Institute, and there is some other, I don't know the name. These two are the most premium mountaineering institutes in India. It's okay. Like in a story, you can assume these things. But if you had written a real one, then it would have shown that you are aware of these things also. Otherwise, it's a very good story. Acceptable, desirable, includes all the necessary elements. Let's go to the next one.
So next one is Abhishek was a filmmaker and he was hired by Government of India to make a documentary on Lata Mangeshkar on her 10th death anniversary. He conducted the auditions and also hired sound artists to find the best match. Then he did research on her life, her struggles, the impacts her songs created, her awards, and how she got so respected. And he implemented it all on big screens with his team. Then he worked on background music editing and VFX to add final touches. His efforts had meaningful impact, and the documentary was a big hit.
Very nice story overall, but you explain me the rationale behind selecting a hero from outside. Why not make one of these two girls the main character?
So, because I don't sing myself and such things, so I just assumed that that singer is Lata Mangeshkar, and since she is no more among us, I just went with the flow that let's make a documentary on her. That's what came into my mind, so I put it this way.
Okay, like let us look at the picture again. Do you have the PPT also in front of you?
Uh, think I have.
Just open it up and go through the picture while I talk. Do you think this is Lata Mangeshkar when you look at the attire and the way she is performing? And do you think the story you have written and this picture are in sync? Like while writing, I can understand you are under pressure and something came in mind and you went about writing. Now look at it with a very calm mind and tell me whether this can be a good story for this picture.
Okay, man, it's like a curtain thing and a stage, so it would have been better if I had done something like made him director of a play or something.
No, you can do
Or
many things like there's a play going on, or there's a college fest going on, or there is some corporate event going on. she is giving auditions for a film or anything of that sort. But look at the attire. It's a modern English attire, which clearly does not suit what you have written. And as much as possible, you can include the main character among these two only. Like even if you can't relate it to your own life, you're a musician. You're to play guitar, you play harmonica, you can make that vocal. Like you can make some tweaks to the kind of theme you chose, but you can project your own qualities. Like you have basic knowledge of music now. So if some girl wants to give a stage show, what all preparation she does, like she first prepares music notes, then practices it, then tries to do, I don't know because I'm not a music fan myself. So you must be knowing like what all process goes through, and then she goes on to give a good performance and win laurels. So this kind of story would have been more suitable if you had made one of these two girls the central character. The girl behind looks like she's dancing or she's having a ramp walk or anything of that sort. Like if you look at this picture, that is what I can make out. Clearly, what you have written does not suit this picture. So your observation skills, your imagination skills, or in general, the way you go about approaching a story may be questioned. So this is not
Mm.
a very desirable story. Although the other aspects were good, like your communication was good, the way you went about the actions, like how he recorded it and used VFX later on, and overall the story was good, but can't relate much to this picture. So be careful. Try to observe the picture first very carefully. 30 seconds is the time given, but you can take even more than that. You can think of thinking should have more time than writing. Writing is very easy. You can go about writing in usually 2.5, 3 minutes only. A simple paragraph, a usual person can write in 3 minutes. But the idea generation and making the theme, creating the character, and relating it completely to the story, like that mind game should actually be very crucial, and that should take more time. So this story didn't impress me, and not a great story. Let's go to the
Mm.
next one and see how it goes.
Okay, so
Yes, please.
uh, yeah, it's a no vacancy. So am I audible?
Yes, yes, please read.
So Rakesh had applied for a job in an analytical firm, but he was rejected as they had no vacancy anymore. So he reached home and used his computer skills to give tuitions to kids of his locality in Python, Java, After Effects, Photoshop, SQL, MS Office, and to meet all demands, he rented some second-hand PCs and used teaching discounts to get software at affordable rate. While he continued to apply and upskill himself, 3 months later he joined Amazon as analyst and turned his tuitions to weekend coachings.
Okay, good story overall, relatable to this picture. But one small observation, this may be a little too senti, but may be considered. No company has Adam block in its campus. This is a campus interview, you can assume. You can make him a final year student who could not get placed in his college placements because vacancies were over, or his percentage was low and they had put a no vacancy board for people below a certain percentage. And thereafter, he realized the importance of upskilling himself and did whatever you have mentioned. So you could have made this college. It's clearly written, no? It's a block. It's the administrative block of a college, clearly. Or that's what I can assume. If you can give any better ideas to this, I'll also listen.
I missed the admin block.
So you should take into consideration all minute details given. Observation, imagination is very important in TAT. In PPDT, it may be neglected a little because the picture is very hazy and some other points are counted, like your confidence in narration, the way you discuss, all those things will compensate your lack of perception. But here, most of your scoring happens on your imaginary skills, your perception skills, right? So these small things need to be taken care of. It's a good story overall, acceptable, but could have been a lot better if you consider the minute details and consider, making a story on them. Good. This is okay overall. Could have been better. Next.
So Durgesh was a firefighter, and when he received report of fire in second floor of a building, he quickly rushed to site with his team. He climbed the ladder to the window and smashed it with the help of his axe. Then he evacuated the people in a safe manner. Next, he turned off the main switch on floor and signaled his team to now use water while he used his fire extinguisher to curb fire in hidden places. Soon, fire was extinguished, and he returned with his team to give his report on the incident.
Very nice overall. Like completely relatable to the picture and overall good. But usually, is in the firefighting sequence, the person goes in first while there is fire and then use water, or he first controls the fire a little, like makes it come down and then go in.
So I had a thought that first I should switch off the mains before I use water, otherwise electricity might do something. So that's why I
Understand?
sent him.
I'm not sure about the firefighting sequence, so I'm just assuming this is a good story. Overall, it is good only because for your profession, you can't know much about these things. So whatever you have assumed and written, this is a totally acceptable story. Relatable picture, actionable, and including all the elements like how he went about completing his task and basically overall good. Like done. This is good. Let's go for the next one.
So my next one is Abhi was motivated by his elder brother, and when his brother got commissioned in Indian Coast Guard, he decided to follow his path and began preparing for Coast Guard. He learned swimming in a local pool of his area and also did 5 kilometer run every day to build stamina. He also started gym as well as preparing for Coast Guard SSB with like-minded friends. Finally, after 6 months, he got recommended and joined the training center for Coast Guard after giving good news to his brother.
Good. Overall acceptable story. Like there is a guy who looks at someone going to sea, and you have taken that as the spark where he got motivated looking at his elder brother, and from there he continued with his preparation. Overall good, like relatable to the picture, actionable, and relating to your personality. You are an aspirant yourself, so it is kind of you're talking about yourself. Good. This is a nice story overall. Next one.
So Sonam Wangchuk was an inventor from Ladakh and he wanted to prepare tents for Indian Army, which they could use in cold places like Siachen. So he did his research and
Second.
identified the best.
Hold. Just 10 seconds. I'll be back. Yeah, sorry for the disturbance here. My dinner just came. Okay, please start the story from the beginning, please.
So Sonam Wangchuk was an inventor from Ladakh and he wanted to prepare tents for Indian Army, which they could use in cold places like Siachen. So he did his research and identified the best polymer-induced fabric which can insulate, are lightweight, highly durable, as well as cost-effective. Then he built various prototypes and asked local feedback and made adjustments and improvements as per them. Finally, he presented the tent to CEO of his nearest unit and a month later got the contract for 1,000 tents after it passed all tests.
Nice. Very good overall. Relating to the picture, relating to your own personality. You are a engineer yourself, and that's how things are done. Not an engineer, but MCA guy. Entrepreneurship and this culture has been in you, and you have made this person. And looking at the terrain, it looks like a hilly area, so Ladakh is good for that. He is making something with the tent. Some other themes which people had written were he was camping in some area. Those kind of things are also very acceptable. Uh, Here, it looks like he is doing something, and it is very unclear. So yes, you can assume he is doing some research on tents because that's the most prominent thing visible here, a big camping tent. Good enough. Overall, very good. Next one.
So Suresh was driving home from office when he noticed an accident between a truck and horse cart. He quickly rushed to help and gave first aid from his car to the injured woman. Then he did the same to other injured people. With help of passing by people, he moved horse cart to roadside and then took injured to hospital, did our formalities, informed police and their family, and returned home once they came.
Nice. Like in this kind of picture, obviously, this is the only story you can make. There is clearly a cart. We don't know what is it, a bullock cart or a horse cart, so you can assume it's a horse cart, and there are people injured, and he is trying to help them out. Good story, like on the spot thinking and tackling the problem. It is a reactionary kind of story where you need to think and write what the actions the hero would take. So good. Like in these kind of pictures, the focus should be on what exactly the hero does. You cannot write he somehow managed to tackle the situation by using all means at his disposal. Those kind of generic statements won't work. You should be specific about what exactly he did, like how he gave first aid, or how exactly he took them to the hospital and informed their parents or family, anything like that. You should go into the details of what reactions he did or he took. So this is a good story. You can include a little more, like one or two more lines about the action part, because in these kind of stories, that is the main thing expected. Overall, good. Next.
So next is Abhishek had invited his NRI friend to visit his hometown for Durga Puja. And when he came, he gave him a warm welcome with his wife. For an entire week, he showed him around the most famous places of Kolkata, enjoyed Bengali culture and cuisines with him, took him to the best places to shop for gifts for his friends and family, clicked tons of pictures to preserve the memories, and finally celebrated Durga Puja with utmost energy and joy before bidding him farewell.
All right. Let's just go through this picture again and try to assess the mood of these characters. Do you think this story can fit well into this picture? Like, look at the lady's expression and one person showing his hand to the other guy, and I assume ki there is some argument going on and something of that sort. But you have made it a completely happy and overall very joyful story. Like, do you think, like, when you look at this picture now, can you think of some improvements in this story?
Yeah, it kind of looks like they are having a discussion. So if I was to write a story on it again, I would write like something like how they started a new business together, who were childhood friends, and how they got the loans and how they prepared websites, how they did the marketing and everything. That
All
would be
that.
my approach to it now.
This story completely looks as if everything has gone happy. That would have been suitable if these people were clearly smiling or something of that sort was visible in their faces. But here, like, they are in, I won't say completely negative, but the tone is set that way. Like, especially the lady's expression and the guys pointing hands at each other. So doesn't suit well the story you have written. So take care of these. Your observation skills, basically. The other story you missed out the Adam block, and in one of the other stories, I think you missed the attire of this Lata Mangeshkar Wali story. And here you
Hmm.
have the facial expressions of these characters, and the theme was wrongly chosen. So take care of these things. This is a pattern, so you can't one or two one story maximum or two uh, we can accept, but this should not happen over and over again. Let's see like how it goes. Next one. This is not a great story. Okayish. Read the next one, please.
The Dagar was a solar engineer who was charged with educating the villagers of Hisar about the solar electricity. So he arranged a panchayat with Sarpanch help, and there he demonstrated the benefits of solar energy, made them aware of government subsidies and how they can sell excess electricity. He then installed solar panels for interested peoples, and seeing the benefits, soon the entire village adopted this model and became the first solar village of the state.
Nice. Very suitable to the image and overall a theme which is relevant to the current days. You are well aware of the government subsidies and how extra electricity can be sold. It speaks about you, good things about you. So good. Like this is a very good story overall. Let's go with the next one. It's an interesting picture.
I was blank on it, and later on when we discussed it, neither me nor my friends could think it was a good story. But so yeah,
Like,
Father Parish was a priest at local church, and when his son's death anniversary came, who was killed in action while fighting terrorists, he went to his grave, performed all rites and rituals in next Sunday gathering. He shared how proud he feels to be father of Captain Joseph, about his actions he performed while fighting enemies, and about the praises which his CO gave when he informed him of his ultimate sacrifice. His words motivated a lot of youngsters, and few of them even joined the defense, idolizing Captain Joseph.
very nice, sir. Like, how could you think this is a not a great story or a bad story, something like that? It's a very good story.
Because the person, if I remember right, he was wearing a tie, and that does not look like
It
exactly
does not
fatherish
look
figure
like a
in which
church father.
the church.
Like, that thing you could have changed. I was about to say that. You could have made him anything. Like, why church father? Anyone can be a Christian's father, na? Like, it looks like you are
I had
stereotyping. कि
a,
Christian होगा तो
I had a
church father.
habit of going to church, so maybe that just kicked in at that moment.
Oh, can't do that. You can make him anything. Businessman, teacher, professor, doctor, anything. Or you don't have to mention his profession only. You can just say he's the father of some Captain Joseph who was killed in action
Hmm.
and go accordingly. Only thing which can be like red mark there was that church father thing. Rest everything was very good. This is a great story overall. Next one.
Uh, so it was Rakesh's sister's birthday, so he gave her a surprise by visiting her in-laws and then took her to home after informing her husband of his plans. There, her family and her in-laws' family were already present, with her room designed in her childhood form, pictures of her childhood and those of festivities and celebrations which her family wi- and with her room designed in her childhood form, pictures of her childhood and those of festivities and celebrations with her families decorated the room. She was very happy with this surprise from her brother, and they enjoyed and celebrated all night long.
Nice. Overall good. Relatable to the picture. And in these kind of neutral pictures where there is nothing clearly visible, you have the freedom to assume all these things. You can like frame any story you want, and you have done the same. Good. Good assumption and overall very suitable to the picture. Well done. Blank picture.
So Vipin was recommended for IAF Academy, and before leaving, he wanted to have utmost fun with his friends and family. So he arranged a small trip in Shimla, where in morning he and his friends both could visit tourist places with family, and then at night drop them at hotel and did camping in the forest near a river, where they would enjoy playing guitar near campfire, play Uno, and several other sports. This way, they spent an entire week having fun, and he left for academy after returning.
Okay, like usually in the blank picture now, try to talk about yourself, about what you have done or what your goals are. This looks more like a dreamy or fantasy type story. Like if
It's
you get
about
selected
a friend of
to do these kind of
ours.
things, you're
Vipin
going.
had got recommended, so yeah.
Sorry,
It's about a friend of ours, Vipin. He had got recommended, so that
Acha,
only
you
kicked.
wrote something of his, you know, image, na? Like you have made him the central character. But in the blank
Yeah.
picture, you should make yourself as the main character and project your qualities through your story. Like if a psychologist is reading, he won't know ki there is some friend called Vipin who got recommended and you did all these things. He will assume ki you are a fantasy type person who wants to do all these things when he gets recommended, and this is a like your dream or you want to do these things with it. Instead of this is a good story overall. It shows that you are motivated, and once you get selected, you want to reward yourself with all these celebrations and all. But a better approach towards writing a story for the blank picture would be write something of uh, meaningful nature, relatable to your own life, like any achievements you have done till now, or your overall life story. You can write in a concise format, like how you have grown till now, facing challenges in life, and now dreaming to become an officer. Or you can write about any experience in your work life where you think you had projected some officer qualities, anything of that sort, which talks about yourself, because it should be relatable to your PIQ, one thing, and it should show some good qualities about you. which otherwise you may not project. Like every psychology test, you are speaking about yourself in different formats. Like in TAT, you are telling it through stories, in WAT through sentences, and in SRT through your responses or reactions. And in SD outright, you are saying like in paragraphs about yourself. So every time give you or give the psychologist some input about you so that he can overall assess you, give you a score for your quality. So a blank picture is a very good opportunity for you to do that. And this does not serve the purpose, the story you have written. So try to write a story which is talking about yourself, which clearly visible to the psychologist it is about you only. Because obviously he reads the PIQ before going with your assessment. So try to relate it to something you have mentioned in the PIQ and go. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it is more desirable and you will have a better position to give the required input to the psychologist if you do that. So try to do that. Your WATs are of very low quality. By just looking at it, I can make out. Not at all acceptable. Uh, let's see. I'll read it. Uh, wait. I'll read the word and you read the sentence. We'll go about assessment like this.
Okay.
Security,
Minimizes risk.
industry,
Boosts economy.
okay. Uh, limit,
Set by mind.
sorry,
Set by mind.
set by mind. Okay. Company,
Friends are best company.
okay. Uh, let's go through the first three, four only. Like, why haven't you mentioned that word in the sentence? I know it is not a rule to do so, but why not? Like, you have time to
So
frame a like proper sentence, a big sentence. Why have you written only like two, three words or a small phrase?
so when I used to practice earlier, then as I wrote the first word, which is going to come in the sentence, which is actually the word itself. That
Mhm.
time, 7, 8 words I used to get missed. But if I just miss that and
Is
go
your
with
hand,
that way, I'm able to
is
complete
your right
most of it.
low?
So that is why I thought that maybe this risk might be worth it.
That it's not a good tactic to use because if you know that your writing speed is not good, make an endeavor to improve it now instead of using these kind of shortcuts. Not a good thing to do. You should improve your writing speed and try to write good quality sentences in the given time. Like at least a good enough length would have been okay. Like at least 5 words, 6 words. You have just written 2 words for each sentence and you haven't mentioned the word also. It is a pain for the psychologist now to go through the words and then look at the sentence. If you have mentioned it clearly, and he has assessed many papers with the similar dossier, so he knows the words almost. So he just goes through, checking your paper alone. But in your case, he has to go through the word also because you haven't included the word in it. And these are very general statements like minimizes risk. Anything can minimize risk, like carefulness, or security, the word here, or good planning, or many other things can minimize risk. So he doesn't know which word is here and he has to go through. Like, do not make the assessor's job difficult. That would be a negative impact on your overall performance. Like, this is not acceptable. There are some good quality WATs also. You have written moral values, build good character. Uh, you have used like a very few. Uh, Good preparation equals good results. Acceptable. Adventure gives new experiences. Good. Uh, Strategic withdraw confuses enemy. Okay, good. Task completion gives satisfaction. Like I can handpick around 4 to 5 sentences. I can see they are complete and acceptable. Rest everything are like not so great. Like WT is a very, very important test. You cannot neglect it like this. The next time you give your WOTs, make sure you write like not lengthy sentences also, but meaningful, complete sentences, not phrases like this. If at all, like in between you get stuck and there is very minimal time where you are almost the word is changing and you have just 2-3 seconds to complete, you can just write a phrase and leave it to manage your time. Like 1 or 2 words, it's acceptable, but your entire VAT series has gone like this, not done. And this is a very big red flag, cannot be accepted. So the next time you write your WTs, make an endeavor to write full and meaningful sentences. Like your ideas are very good. Your responses are of good quality, like security minimizes risk, industries boost economy, limits are set by mind. If you just include that phrase, it's a meaningful sentence. Now you can just include that first word: limits are set by mind, industries boost economy of a country, having good security measures minimizes risk. Write good quality sentences like that, so that when someone reads, it talks about your qualities. Actually, these are good responses only, but incomplete. That is the only thing I'm pointing out. The responses are very good. Overall, they talk about your personality to a good level. Just make sure you complete the sentences. Overall, if we just go through the responses you have given, uh, guided by ambition, brings out best in players. Like these are the typical, desirable WT responses. This is how a WT response should be. Just include the word and make it a complete sentence. That's all. Overall, rest everything is good. In WAT, your personality is projected through your idea generation. Like when you look at a word, the first thought which comes, it says about what you assume when a particular thing is shown at you. Like let's say creativity. What is your opinion about this word creativity? Like what kicks in your brain when you see the word for the first time, or when it is projected in this test? So it talks about your personality indirectly. Overall, very good responses. Make sure you complete them. That's all.
Sure, sir.
SRTs. Do one, please. Read the question and the answer.
Okay. Um, eh,
Okay, let's do one thing. You do one. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to read the question or the answer?
Answer, sir, because I
Obviously,
can tell.
so wait. And SRTs also I can make out not good because of the length. His captain was injured before a crucial match. He was asked to lead the team. He
Led the team to the best of his abilities.
okay. Like, do you think is that's a good response?
No, a better one would have been in short preparation. Did some more work like analyze each player and prepared accordingly, and then won the match. That kind of thing, I believe, would have been better.
You know it and still didn't do. Why?
So in rush,
You
I
want
was
to
just,
manage time and give more SRTs, or what was going on in your head when you wrote these
I
kind of
just, I just wanted to complete. So
not
anything that came to the mind.
SRT? Quality matters more than quantity. You may give like 25 also is okay. Like if you are very poor in your writing ability, if it is clearly visible in the other two tests also that you are struggling to complete, if they are very good quality, like 25 to 30 is also acceptable, although it is lesser than the average. 35 to 40 is the average acceptable level. If they are good quality, 35 to 40 is the ideal range. But 25 to 30 is also acceptable. One of my friends, this Priyam Vadna, who got recommended in his first attempt, he had given only 23 SRTs, he said, and he was recommended with a good score overall in the SSB. When his SSB score was released after 1 year by UPSC, it was a very good score, like above the borderline. He was not just recommended; he got recommended with a good margin. So it is not necessary that you complete all SRTs or most of them, but whatever you write, they should be of good quality and they should confirm your personality. Most of your assessment has happened by now through your WTs and TATs, coupled with your PIQ, has told most things about you already. SRT is mostly a confirmatory test, so you can't do this key. I'll just write, and this in SRTs. The most important thing is you should include how the hero tackles this situation. Every situation is a problem given to you. How exactly you go about tackling it or solving it is the intention of giving SRTs. If you just say what did you write? He led the team to
Uh,
the best abilities. Like,
yeah.
what does that say? That's a very generic statement to pass, which anyone would do. Like how he did it, like when that situation is thrown at you, what would you do exactly? That is what is being expected in SRT. You can't write generic statements like, he did to the best of his abilities, or he used all his qualities to tackle this, or he somehow managed to do this. These kind of words are a big no in your SRT responses. You need to be very clear about what actions the hero takes in order to tackle that situation. Overall, is this a pattern? Like, have you done this in all your SRTs?
No, not exactly.
Okay,
In
let's
most of them, I have tried like to get how that thing. It
like
just happened in this
ideally
one,
in
I
an
think.
SRT, you can write 3 to 4 phrases, in some situations even more, and keep them short. Like, let's say for this only, his captain was injured before a crucial, he was asked to lead the team. He spoke to the captain, took suggestions from his coach, motivated his team to perform well under his captaincy, and led the team through individual performance and by passing good strategies to the team. Like that would have been a holistic approach towards tackling this problem and led the team to victory ultimately. So you can't write he'll just did it to the best of his abilities. In the next one also, let's say he was on his way home and suddenly he started raining heavily. In this kind of statements, one small sentence answer will work because it was raining and it's a simple thing to do. He
Yeah.
ran and reached quickly. Acceptable. Some people say he took shelter at a shop or under a tree shade or something like that and then reached. Or some people have some other innovative things. He took out his umbrella or he wore a raincoat and things like that. It's up to them to assume anything. But in these kind of situations, it's okay. Like there's no big thing you can do when it rains. There are only 2 3 options at your disposal, and you do those things only. But in things like let's say there is enemy shelling going on, and you are the a young officer posted at this border location, what would you do? In those kind of things, you can't just say he somehow managed to tackle the situation and give it back to the enemy, or you can't say he protected his team and tackled the situation successfully. These kind of statements do not say how exactly he solved. Na, they are just general statements which you are passing. Usually, when you don't know what to do, you write these kind of things. So you can't say the psychologist key in this situation. I don't know what to do, so I'll just write a general statement. That is what the psychologist is getting from this. Na, you are sending a message ki I'm not able to tackle this problem effectively, so I'm writing a general statement. Which, if that situation is really given to you right now, like how exactly you would tackle it? That is what he's interested in knowing. Uh, got him admitted in the best college as per the cutoff. Okay, go in busy hours and hide among the crowd. Read the work. Okay. Full chain. Outrun and overpower him. Return the purse. Okay. Hand over the thief to RPF. Return the purse. Continue journey. Like all the SRTs, the quality can be improved. Like you can include more actions, or you can make it better quality actions. Overall, SRT was very average to below average, I would say. And you haven't mentioned the numbers, and I can't make out how many I've attempted. Like, what is the last number?
So I think it was 52 or 53,
So,
but I
in a,
skipped in one. So
okay, not necessary. Yeah, anything above 50 is superhuman stuff. For a person who has very fast handwriting and who thinks very quickly, above 50 is possible. But you have told your weaknesses yourself, ki you're not a good writer. You struggle with writing as well as writing speed. So for your kind of personality or the strengths and weaknesses you have, the best you can do is around 40, 35 to 40. Write better quality responses. That is more important. Trust me, even if you write 30, nothing against you. You will get a similar score whether you write 30 or you write 60. The psychologist is interested in confirming your personality and to check in these kind of sudden stressful situations how you react. That can be shown in 30, 35 responses also. It can be shown in 50 to 60 responses also. So do not focus on the quantity. Do not focus on the number of SRTs you attempt. Just make sure you give good quality responses, which tackle the problem with actions. Like how exactly you go about tackling them. Overall, you need to improve a lot on your WATs and SRTs. Like, I hope you are making a note of these points. Anyway, this is being recorded now, so you will have access to this again.
Mhm.
So make sure you improve. TATs were good, but even there we found some loopholes. Like your observations were poor, and in the blank picture you didn't write a relatable story. Overall, there are many mistakes which you need to rectify. SD, read your SD, please, parents.
Okay. So my parents believe that I am an honest and hardworking person. They praise me for my good behavior and how I teach my brother. They believe I will bring honor to family and also like how I manage my money. They, however, feel concerned for my sleep cycle and my fondness with watches.
Okay, what's wrong with your sleep cycle? You are active at nights and sleeping in the mornings, sir.
It's kind of like earlier when I was in day shifts and stuff. I used to wake up at 6 and 7, but
Okay,
now since I'm at around 11 and 12, I get leaves. So it has become a habit that because after that I study and prepare for the exam and stuff. So it takes about 2 to 3 by the time I sleep, and as a result, I wake up around 9 or 10. So that's something they don't like.
it's actually a modern day thing which our parents' generation doesn't understand. It's very common. Like if I was in Bangalore and working in IT, I would do the same. Like my sister and brother-in-law are doing the same, so it's not a weakness. However, yeah, your parents are not happy and you are writing about your parents' opinion, so you need to include this. And what about this fondness with watches? You're obsessed, you keep buying watches,
I have got like 12 of them right now.
like all branded premium ones.
Not all of them, but 4 or 5 of them are good quality, expensive one we can say as per taste.
Okay, that's. Do you think it's a weakness for yourself or just your parents think and you are happy spending on watches?
It's like this that whatever income I have, it's a fixed procedure that 50 to 60% of it is always going to go to my mother, and
Mm-hmm.
25% around is going to go into investments. The rest, what I do is up to me. That is completely free for me. So
Okay,
at times I have used them on watches.
it's okay. It's not a big weakness. Everyone has obsessions of their own. Like I'm very fond of a few things which I spend a lot of money on. Yeah, this is acceptable. But I was just interested looking at this key. What is this about your sleep cycle and your fondness with watches? Good. Like this was an overall good SD. You wrote about your qualities like honest,
I
hardworking.
asked everyone directly, like, what do you think of me? I cannot think of anything better than this. To write my SD, I have started this only. I ask people, tell me what do you think of me?
No, this is good. Like, this is a very good SD. Like you have included both negatives and positives, and the negatives you have included do not give any major red flag about your personality. Your sleep cycle is manageable because of the nature of the job you are doing. It is acceptable, and fondness with watches, it's not a weakness at all. If it turns into obsession and you are completely investing in that only, and you are like uh, just spending your salary in it, then it's a problem. But not in your case. It's a good SD. Like parents' opinion, very good. Your behavior about teaching your brother, uh, they believe in you and trust that you will bring honor to the family, and they appreciate how you manage your money. Although they are not happy about this spending on watches. Overall, good. Like this is what any typical Indian household, the parents would feel like. Friends, my friends believe that I am a person who is adaptable and learns quickly. Okay, nice. They never hesitate to reach out to me for any personal or professional help. They also trust me with their secrets. Very good. However, feel I get overexcited at times. Okay, overexcited. Like, can you give me a few examples, like situations where you get overexcited?
So yeah, like it happened that we were preparing for AFCAT thing at my friend's house. That's something that we do. And at the same point of time, it came on news that one of the persons with whom we used to practice for the SSB,
Hmm.
she had gotten recommended.
It came
So
in news.
in that, no, no, no. Girl who used to be in the group with us,
Okay.
she basically got recommended from Dehradun.
Acha, you got a
So
news on phone, like on WhatsApp groups or
yeah,
something.
on WhatsApp.
Or TV news.
And sorry.
Okay. Nothing,
And
nothing. You
as
on your phone from somewhere
yeah, on
saying,
my phone.
okay.
And as it turned out, I landed that I kicked on. Matlab, as soon as I read it, I kicked up in excitement, and his lappy almost fell off the cart. What do you say? So he was like, "Ki bro, take care, महंगा है थोड़ा." That kind of thing has happened,
It's
and a lot of times has happened that when we go out, kind of thing, and I just want to enjoy it. Like it happened in snake race in Allahabad also because it was my like after 6 7 uh, screen outs, I finally got in. So it so happened that I'm pulling people कि snake को लेके भागो भागो just भागो मैं खींच रहा हूँ उनको कि भागो.
it's good, yeah.
They are like
Being very excited and being lively, being vibrant, like full of energy. It's a very good thing. But at some times you need to control it, like in places like your personal interview or in the conference, like suddenly looking at people in uniform, you can't get overexcited and say, "Hey, I'm very happy." Like that doesn't suit an officer behavior. But being excited, overexcited is very good. It's typical Fauji nature also. Like you see every army guy, na, they are excited at small things. That's how you live life. So it is a good thing actually. Friends' opinion overall very good. Like you have written all qualities which usually friends talk about, like adaptable, learning quickly, they reach out for help, they trust you, and obviously they think about your overexcitement. Employer, my employers like that I always deliver on my commitments and reach my targets. Good. They have given me a free hand to work as I deem fit and appreciate that I help my juniors and colleagues. Very good. They like that I'm always energetic. However, they feel worried for I speak what I believe is right without hesitation. You are a straightforward person who speaks to the point and do not hesitate in putting your word forward. It's a very good quality only. But they feel a little worried for you because in the corporate world or anywhere in like general practical world, mein, you need to be a little diplomatic. People feel, but for an army guy, this is a very good quality. Like you need to be straightforward and speak to the point on the face. Good. Self belief. I believe that I'm a hardworking and sincere person. I have faith in myself and know that I will reach my goal with hard work. Very. I hate to leave tasks incomplete and will complete them even if I have to sit long hours. Very good. At times I feel get overexcited and over helpful. Huh? Very good only. That also. Improvements. You need to improve on your GK, physical fitness, and make them your strengths. Okay. I would say you can include your handwriting also. You can like
for that
not
he would need to understand I have written handwriting over there.
you can write writing abilities because you have not been in touch. You are mostly into coding. You can include that. Like in this improvements, it's an opportunity for you to tell the psychologist key this is where I know I am lacking and I'm working on it to improve. Like obviously when there are weaknesses detected, you can at least accept it and promise the psychologist key I'm working on it and show that you are training yourself. It's a very good thing. It is an opportunity for you to say to the psychologist key I'm working on these things. So in the improvements column, write whatever weaknesses you think the psychologist already knows. Like whatever I've discussed till now, there are some weaknesses which you can make about yourself. So you can include them and try to justify them ki I'm working on them, and you can actually include how exactly you are going about improving them, like what actions you are taking. Overall, a very good psych paper, I would say, but a lot of improvements required. You have all the qualities I can make out, like all the basic core qualities which are being checked in the psychology test series are found in you. But the way you give your responses can be a lot better to make the job easier for the psychologist and to further improve your chances. So make sure in TAT you perceive the image very well, like observe very carefully, take all minute details into consideration, and then form a logical, like proper story, completely relatable to the picture. 12 story should be your story. WITs should be a little more elaborate, a little more. All the responses are very good. You just need to include the word and make it a meaningful sentence. SRTs, obviously, you need to improve the quality, make it a little more elaborate, and include what actions are taken, like how that situation was tackled, that how is very important. SD was very good overall. So these are the improvements you need to make, and you are fit. I would say you are very good. Small changes in your approach in attempting your psych paper should be improved. That's all.
Understood, sir.
If you have any questions, you may ask me now.
So I just cannot get a few thoughts out of my mind from Allahabad.
It happens
Like,
here. Like I have faced similar stuff now. After being 4 times conferenced out, I lost trust in the system. Very honestly, like I decided that I don't want to give any SSVs because maybe there is favoritism going on, or maybe they are selecting not deserving candidates, and I'm like I felt that way. But honestly, the system is very fair, and they have uh, screened you out or conferenced you out for some reason which you have given them. Otherwise, no one does that unnecessarily. So try to accept it, and sometimes there is a luck factor also which comes in, especially in your screening in, because इतना भीड़ होती है and they have to filter out candidates. उसमें थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर हो. It's a human selection system ना, so they are people only who are filtering you out. उनसे भी थोड़ा बहुत गलती हो सकती है, but most of the times that's not the case. You have given them some reason to screen you out, and that's why you were screened out.
so, but Allahabad, like, it was a kind of a mix because in Varanasi, it
Mm.
happened with me that the GTO, I had done the tiger leap there. And when
Mm.
I came, I was expecting that GTO would be looking at me. He would be like, okay, he has done first attempt kind of thing. He
Mm.
would be doing. I saw he was looking somewhere other in the trees or something with his goggles on, and I was like, "You, you will not ignore me," kind of thing. So I intentionally, I knew I
Not.
cannot do balancing. Still, I went. You will look at me. That
Mm.
happened there in Varanasi. Then in Gandhinagar, reverse happened. There,
Okay.
I had full attention of GTO, but the interviewing ma'am, it so happened the few answers that I gave,
Mm.
uh, which I deeply regret. Why I had given that?
Okay.
Yeah, like the one of the question was ki, what do you think about the girls joining NDA kind of thing?
Mm.
So it was asked, and I told her a fact, like a fact which was from the US Navy SEALs. That ma'am, they were also allowed, but it happened that none of them could complete. At the end, it happened that two of them had to be passed out just for the show. And we can also see that Major Vivek Jacob, he told that a few girls also came for para thing. And
How could you say woman interviewing officer? Are you like trying to offend her like directly?
I had no intention to offend her. I just knew this fact, and it is the part where knowing a bit
But to
about
say
other things didn't tell me.
NDA girls are being pushed and passed, like only two passed out. Is this a
I,
fact,
I
or
also hope for the best, sir, that let them go, let them have it. I'm not against it.
where is this
But I
coming from?
just like I was stating some facts and it didn't end up for the best of my side, I would say.
Like you should put it in a more decent manner and try to be a little diplomatic when you are, contradicting her uh, thoughts or her opinions. The interviewing officer, I mean. But how did you say this? Ki girls are finding it difficult to pass out and they are being pushed and only two passed out. Like where is this
So it
coming
was
from?
for the US Navy SEALs. I only told what was written in the articles only.
So did you mention that it is from the
Yeah,
US
it's
Navy?
US Navy SEALs. I told that.
This question, matlab this response came when she asked about para SF, na? Not about NDA.
No, she asked about the NDA thing. So I just
That
flow में निकल गया.
it it clearly shows that you have something against women joining the armed forces. or being
Not
in.
exactly, sir, but मेरा वही है कि if someone is better than me, then only I will look up. It doesn't matter a man or a woman. So that kind of thing is there. If she has wearing the uniform, she has a higher rank than me, I will listen. Otherwise, I will not listen. That thing is there. I won't lie.
Being a rebel or showing this kind of behavior is not desirable, especially at the entry level in the forces, because you need to be very humble, very submissive. Like, although you become a commissioned officer, you are the junior most in the hierarchy, so you will be treated that way only. You can't show this attitude or whatever, these cocky behaviors. They are counted and valued positively in the corporate world, like, because you have confidence in your skills, you can be arrogant, you can negotiate your salary, you are at a position of power there. Here, it's not that like that. You are a complete zero in terms of, your 4G training or your military career. You are starting from scratch and you know nothing about, like, what are the internal things about the army. So you need to behave that way and you need to be very humble in your approach. So this, I wouldn't accept it if I was the interviewing officer also. Obviously you were
I
scoring
that is why
accordingly.
that is why I had to fix that thing up, and that is what the thing happened. As soon as like the 40-45 minutes mark hit, she let me, okay, now get out. That thing happened. And
Obviously that's
in
some.
Allahabad, same thing happened. My interview went for around 1.5 hours. That was also there. And in
Okay.
GT also, it was okay. I
Hmm.
won't say I did extraordinary, but I gave solutions. And it so happened that when the group got stuck, I was actually told, one of you has given the solutions. Okay, I will let one person go back and others switch the places. That thing happened. Now, the thing was, before that, I had narrated 4 or 5 times. And when I finally got the chance, because I knew that I had given the solution and she might be saying about me, I went, I put the solution and got it there. So anyway, GTO okay was there, and interviewing officer also went for quite a while. That's why the Allahabad just stick that. Even when you did the best
So
I could have done, I did the best, but still, it just
why do you think you
yeah.
did psych best? I've told you so many points now. Like,
No, in the psych, I don't mean I said don't know about psych, or I don't remember anything about psych. I won't lie.
so that
Not
might
even
have
one picture.
you were like, it's not a very like accurate thing we can assume कि हाँ इसी में मेरा खराब था. Maybe you might feel that your GTO and interview went well, but some of your qualities may have been recognized there, which were not good enough. So you cannot say with confidence, "Ha, this was the wrong thing." You can make assumptions and you can improve for the next time and hope for the best. It is 90% possible for you to completely recognize what happened there and where exactly you need to improve just by analyzing your performance in each task and overall what impression you have given about yourself to all three assessors. So look at it that way, and your psychology tests, I'm sure, did not go up to the mark. Like, looking at what you have given me right now, I'm sure a lot of improvement could be made. So do that. And interview and GTO, like the conversation I'm having with you, it's a free flow conversation, and there are some things you need to improve in your interview also. Like, be a little humble, be submissive, and you're going there to get selected, and obviously from a position of weakness. You are not going there as a no negotiator. It is completely one-sided. The decision is theirs. You can't have a say in this. So behave that way and try to, know show the humble side of you to an extent, not very much. And you should have that self-confidence. You should be a little cocky. Those things also help. Like when they say, "What will you do if you don't get recommended?" You can say, "I'll do good things outside also." Look, not exactly that way. Like, I will keep trying until my age criteria, doesn't allow me.
I told the same thing. Allahabad, when I was asked, I told them. It was only in Allahabad I was asked this because maybe they had seen that 8-9 attempts are there now. So I told them that I will continue working while my selection does not come, and if it so happens that I don't make it with the forces, I will join some other service like IS or something. So
Ah,
yeah,
you need to have that self confidence, but there's a thin line between being self confident and being overconfident or arrogant. So make sure you don't cross that line. Rest everything is good, yeah. Like, you are a potential candidate. Just rectify your mistakes which you have been doing. GTO
and
interview.
so since we had one Gandhinagar thing, also I would just like to add one more thing that might have pissed her off. So that
Uh,
if anyone watches, don't do this. When I was asked about she asked me which is the plane. There was a picture of a plane. So I told her I don't know.
In,
Then she was
in
like, okay, which is your favorite plane? She asked.
okay.
I was like, man, Eurofighter Typhoon. It actually is my favorite plane, but she
Wh-
gave me that look that it is not even in Indian Air Force. I'm like, I know, but you asked me which is my favorite. I told you which is my
Why
favorite.
is it your favorite? Like, what is the logic?
So basically, there I saw a video of comparison like on YouTube where it was like Rafale and that. So it turned out that Eurofighter Typhoon has been from the it has shown more action, and also if I remember it right, it had also a higher flying range. That thing. I don't remember the technicalities and everything, but
Actually,
overall, when the comparison was there, I liked that part more. So that was the thing.
actually not a good thing because Eurofighter Tycoon, like I know the technicalities, it is not suitable for Indian conditions. Like what missions we have and the kind of deployments we have and our mission requirements, it is not at all a suitable aircraft, which is why it was not taken in that deal. And
I just saw the comparisons, so that's how I just read the
when
decisions.
you know what pisses off the interviewing officer, why are you purposefully taking that chance and why are you fucking up your chances with
I
your own?
I got just excited. As I told you, I
Can't do that. Yeah.
just
This is
control
not
that.
for you. You need to be very serious. You need to be humble, composed, and when possible, you need to show that you are very well motivated. Obviously, when these questions are asked, what is your favorite aircraft? You can say some legendary Indian fighter aircraft and talk about that. It shows your intent to join the Indian Air Force. You're not here to join the European Air Force, no? Or any country that not the European Air Force, I mean. So behave accordingly, and your seriousness counts a lot. And the way you are answering shows that you have an attitude
That
problem. Or
was like 2 3 years back. Allahabad, it was pretty fun. I can say that much.
it needs to be
I
even better. Like you need to be more humble. You need to
Mhm.
show that you are a submissive person there because that is how a young officer is expected to be. And you are not even an officer. You are there as a candidate. So you need to be even more humble. So make sure you do that. And the improvements in psych and GTO. GTO, though, you will know yourself here. It's a very open thing where you can recognize your own mistakes. Psych, the weaknesses you have written in your SD and overall, like assessing your qualities through whatever means the psychologist has, you're overall a very fit candidate. There are no major weaknesses you have other than what you are showing in the interview and some other places. And even here, the quality of responses you're giving. Improve on these small things and you must be through.